there was some good parts there. Anyway, hello everyone who's here. I'm not going to start streaming, or well, obviously I'm streaming, but I'm not going to start building quite yet. I'm going to let people trickle in for a bit first. Let's see. Let's give them like 2 minutes or so. In the meantime, it's nice to see people here. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. I think I haven't done it since like the week of release, right? And chances are I'm going to do something similar in the future once Sequestria comes out, because I am very, very excited to start building with Sequestria. I already know some stuff that I want to try. You know, we only have about, I don't know, like 30 cards now. I need to add about 12 cards to the master spoiler list. Whoops. And I think we have got about 17 on top of that, maybe a few more. Moral of the story is we have a lot of cards. We don't have enough cards yet. We have enough cards that's made me really want to build, but I can't. I don't know what else is in the set. You know, like the Spike. I want to build around the Spike, and Brian. I want to build a deck with Brian and Gummy, and I'm twitching over here, twitching to make some decks on Twitch. See what I did? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Anyway, let's see. Is it 2 past yet? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to assume that everyone that wants to be here is going to be here. And maybe some people will come in later, maybe not. But so I said in the Reddit announcement that today I want to build some aggro decks. So I'm probably only going to be working on aggro decks here. I have at least one. The first one I'm going to do is something that I've had in my mind for a while, for like a week or two, and I'm kind of excited to build that. It'll be better in Sequestria for sure, but I might take some suggestions after that first one. Sprite's already asked for one, so maybe we can go there. But before I get into the deck building, I want to discuss some theory, some game theory about aggro decks, right? So, Gen Con is over. It's been over for a few months. And we had it wasn't the best of showings, of course, like compared to previous years, and that's fine. But it was still a very competitive environment. We still saw a lot of good decks. People weren't just gifted top 16. But in the end, while the majority of decks were in fact aggro only got a top 4 finish. Last year, it also got a top 4 finish. The year before, I think it only got top 16. I don't remember if Justin made it to top 8 or not. And then the year before that, it actually got to the finals. So, aggro has actually been doing fine. It's made it all 4 years, which you can't say about every archetype. In fact, the only archetype you can't say it about is control. There were no control decks 2 years ago. There was only one combo deck this year, and it got 16th place before the top 16 cut. So anyway, where was I going with this? Right, aggro is in has been doing okay, right? But it's only been doing okay. It hasn't been winning the major tournaments, right? Like, let's look at the tournaments this year that came out after Defenders was released, right? We've had a bunch of regionals, and Hot Wings did very well there, but we also had the combo deck, the Vapor Trail combo. We had some farm. So it was a somewhat diverse meta, though very full of Hot Wings, and so that's why we saw a lot of Hot Wings winning. After that, we had BronyCon, right? BronyCon, we saw Control versus Control in the finals. And then we had Gen Con, and we saw Control versus Control in the finals. Then we had PPC, which, so I have to eat my own words here, was Control versus Aggro, and Aggro won. So we did have Aggro winning a major tournament in recent memory. Not PPC. Brony can. I don't know why I called that PPC. PPC isn't even happening this year. Anyway, so we actually did have an aggro deck, winning, right? But at Gen Con, we had an aggro deck taking top 4, a control or 2 control decks, and a farm deck also in top 4. Now, a lot of people, and I don't think this is entirely unjustified, a lot of people were disappointed that aggro did not win this year, right? Because aggro has yet to win Gen Con. And it's won Continentals, not in the US, but it has won Continentals. This year was the first year. This Gen Con was actually the first Continentals Control ever won. But aggro did not win Gen Con here. And some people were asking why. Why didn't aggro win? Hot Wings was everywhere. So first off, that's part of the reason. Hot Wings was in fact everywhere. That meant a lot of people said, instead of playing a Hot Wings, I'm going to play a deck that beats Hot Wings. This caused a lot of Hot Wings decks to not place as highly as they might have otherwise, because there was so much anti-Hot Wings in the meta. And this is why we only saw we saw 4 Hot Wings decks in top 16. Only one of them made it to top 8, and none of them made it past top 8, right? We did still see aggro in top 4. It was just a different aggro deck. It was an aggro deck that no one had seen before, aside from the 2 brothers who created it. And huge props to them. This is Spookum Makukum, orange-blue aggro deck, right? So here's the question for you. Why did that deck do so well where Hot Wings did not, right? It only lost once in Swiss, and it lost to Control. And it lost, I don't know how many games it lost in top 16, but, it didn't get eliminated until top 4, and it, again, lost to Control. Similar Control decks, both purple-pink, just one had white and one did not. So I think part of the reason that deck saw more success than Hot Wings was because it was a surprise. People didn't know how it was, how to deal with it. They had to deal with it on the fly, as opposed to Hot Wings. You could play against Hot Wings 10, 20, 30, 100 times before Gen Con, because everyone knew about Hot Wings, but no one knew about Spookum and Kukum. One of the other reasons was it played very differently. People were building their deck to beat Hot Wings, and this deck didn't play the same way. It played a little bit similarly, obviously. They're both aggro decks, but it had more tools to deal with what it expected to see in an anti-Hot Wings meta. And I think this is an important lesson. So probably the biggest downfall, the reason Hot Wings only made top 8 is because it was built specifically to be as fast as possible. Now, Spookum is still very fast, but it's not as fast as possible. It takes some time early on. It can DFO turn 2, but it's a lot less common than it would be in, say, Hot Wings. But it takes a little bit of time. It slows down a little bit and then starts going fast and scoring points, right? It's closer to, say, your Scootaloo aggro decks, which, are much slower than your Bluna aggro decks. But Bluna just wanted to go very fast, don't break for anything, right? So when you threw a wrench in the mix, say a Troublemaker or two, Bluna didn't have the tools to deal with this as effectively as some other aggro decks might have. This caused it to have good matchups against other aggro decks, slower aggro decks, but bad matchups against control, right? In fact, I'd say the way we built Hot Wings, we effectively went, we're just going to make this as fast as possible. We're not going to care about control. And it was a problem, right? It had the dilemmas. That was the only way it had to get past Troublemakers. Literally the only way in the entire deck. And that just wasn't enough. So, I think this is what aggro needs to pay attention to. You can just go faster, and you will beat every other aggro deck. If you are the fastest aggro deck, you will beat all aggro decks, right? But you will lose to control. You will lose to farm. You might beat combo because you're faster than them, right? You're going as fast as possible, but you're going to lose to control and you're going to lose to farm because you didn't pack tools to deal with them. This is a meta choice, right? If you're just trying to focus on speed, that's fine. But if you want to just slow down a little bit, like Spookum did, again, it's still fast. It's just not as fast as Hot Wings, and it did better. Now it still lost to two control decks. So obviously, it's not a foolproof formula. But that's what I think we need to see with some aggro decks here. I think we need to see some aggro decks pace themselves just a little bit, have a few more tools to deal with control. And that brings me to my first aggro deck here, okay? I want to build a pink-yellow aggro deck. Why pink-yellow, you might be wondering. Because it has the best anti-control tools. Yellow, aside from cracking the case, has the best Troublemaker busting in the game. Snips and Snails is very, very strong, and we're playing pink, so obviously you're going to run Snips and Snails as well here. But, I think yellow actually has better TM busting than any color except cracking the case. Now, white is not as good at TM busting as yellow overall. It just has the best card for it. Like, bar none, cracking the case is going to be the best TM buster we will ever see. I look forward to eating these words in Sequestria. Maybe. But yes, pink, yellow. So yellow is how you get past the Trollmakers. With the addition of Brian, we can also... Now, I'm not going to add Brian because I'm going to try and keep this harmony. But theoretically, if you add Brian, that gives you protection against controls, dismissal, and banishment, and all that stuff, right? So you can still actually confront problems, and you're fine. And then pink gives us the removal that you need to deal with controls problematic friends. So I think pink-yellow is actually in a very good position to beat control. And I think that's something that a lot of aggro players are looking for right now. They want to find out, how can I beat control while still playing aggro? They look at the results we've historically had, and normally, like obviously, Bronycan proved aggro can beat control just fine. But we've normally seen aggro's losing to control. And why is that? It's because it's not packing enough anti-control tools. So now the trick, obviously, is not to lose to other aggro decks, right? Like I said, if you're going the fastest, you're going to beat aggro decks, right? So pink-yellow is not going to be as fast as blue. It's just not. That's what blue does. Blue is all about speed. Blue-pink especially is about speed. But we're not playing blue, we're playing pink-yellow. So, okay. So first off, we have to ask ourselves, what is our main, right? So restricting ourselves to mains, right? We've got pink. Ignore Skystar. We are not going to use her for right now. And we've got yellow, right? So we've got basically two mains to choose from here. Now, you can probably guess, one for each color. You can probably guess what the pink one is. She's been an aggro main for as long as she's been introduced. She's been the pink aggro main. This is Vinyl. Yellow, some of you are probably not going to guess which main I'm talking about. Some of you are going to think I'm talking about Thorax. I'm not. Some of you might think I'm talking about Nurturing Nature here, since I have said many times that I think Nurturing Nature is a better main than Thorax. Again, no. We're trying to build anti-control here, which means we need to be able to deal with control tools. And Nurturing Nature, if there are troublemakers in the way, she does nothing for you. Thorax, he can sometimes beat troublemakers if he's at the problem, but control decks are typically not going to let him be at the problem. Or if they're purple, and if they're like say pink-white control, they're going to not let him have friends, so he's too small to beat troublemakers. So neither of these is actually good enough here. The actual main here, plus these both need to confront to flip. The actual yellow consideration here is friend to animals. Why friend to animals? One, you can always flip her, no matter what. If the opponent plays troublemakers to your problems, you can still flip her. Even if you don't draw any critters, you can still flip her. Two, her ability to move to problems for 1 AT, as long as there's a critter there, makes her actually good at trying to beat troublemakers. You're not as punished as you would be with, say, Thorax, right? If you challenge with Thorax and you lose, Thorax goes home, and then you have to pay 2 to move Thorax back. Meanwhile, Fluttershy, you only have to pay 1 to move her back in most circumstances. Plus, she's still big. She's still 4-power main. She does have that Caretaker. And 4-power main is pretty good for aggro. So, yeah, so the two options here are Friend to Animals and Vinyl. Now, Friend to Animals has not been used in a long time. That being said, if I had to choose between Friend to Animals and Vinyl, I'm probably still going to choose Vinyl. So, I'm going to choose Vinyl for the purpose of this stream. I might try a Friend to Animals deck later tonight if people are interested in that. I think there's definitely room to build around her, and I think she's still very strong. But you can't be drawing 2 cards a turn. Like, you just can't. Now, that being said, Vinyl is slower than Friend to Animals, but that's okay. Where Vinyl is also a lot more reliable, and by having a pink main, we have access to pink's removal as long as our main is flipped. And disclaimer, Vinyl is very, very easy to flip. Very easy to flip. So we're going to use Vinyl. So now, the question is, how do you do Vinyl aggro, right? So the very first thing is we want a specific problem. We want concerning. No, let's spell concerning right. We want concerning cutie mark, and on top of that, we want berry punch here. We want a full 3 berry punches. Why do we want berry punch? Very simple. Because berry punch lets us flip Vinyl, turn 2, on the play or on the draw, while still confronting. If you just play berry to a problem, and then you play another friend, and then you confront that problem, and bam, you've flipped Vinyl and scored a point. Or if you don't have any other friends you can play, which is Can happen. You just move vinyl. And then that's 3 power. You confront, you exhaust Berry Punch, draw your 3rd card for the turn, flip vinyl. You don't get an extra draw off of vinyl, and she is out of problem, which is, oh well, not where you typically want her to be, but there she is, and you flipped vinyl, turn 2, scored a point. It's pretty good. So any aggro deck right now with vinyl needs Berry Punches. All of them. A full 3. So, okay. So now we're having a second color. Yeah, yes, there are no berries in yellow. Yes, thank you. So we need entry, and while I would love to add that new Fluttershy we just saw, unfortunately not an option. So Sunshower here is probably the best we have. Lets you look at face down troublemakers. Not great, but it's fine. At least as far as 2s. We do also have Philly Fluttershy. Or Thorax is not bad either. We might run Thorax, but Philly Fluttershy is pretty... Where is she? There we go. Fluttershy growing up. Probably going to run a full 3 of her as well. She helps us get to 3 yellow rec, which might be important for some of our cards. Plus, her plus Berry Punch confronts, and you're not wasting anything, right? Those 3 AT, you still have 1 AT left to do cool things. And then I think we might actually only do the 2 Fluttershys. Yeah, we'll do 2 Fluttershys, and we'll do a full 3 Thoraxes, because Thorax has experience, right? Or actually, you know what? We're going to do 2 Sunshowers, 3 Thoraxes, and 3 Fluttershys. I think that's probably better. Because, Sunshower isn't that great. I had forgotten about the experience on Thorax. Now, okay. So now, while we're here, let's not kid ourselves. We're going to run the Bunyips. We're aggro. We need some point acceleration. Pink has none. Yellow has Bunyip. We're adding Bunyip. QED. Okay. I want to add Brian. And were I not trying to make this Harmony legal, I would add Brian. But it's not Harmony legal yet. Brian is not a legal card. Anyway. So let's, before we add anything else, we've got our entry, we've got our Berry Punch to flip vinyl. So we've got our entry settled here. Is the video blurry? I don't know why the video would be blurry. Is anyone else having this issue? Or is it just Godot? Okay. Did you check your quality settings, Godot? Because maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Twitch. So if Sprite says it's fine, I'm going to assume it's fine. Yeah, sounds like it might be on your end, Godot. Sorry about that. Anyway, where was I? Right, multicolor. Okay, so we're not going to just look at friends right now. We're going to look at, well, I guess I can't just look at marks in time, but we're going to look at multicolor cards. Well, we'll look at marks in time, and then we'll look at defenders in a moment here, right? So marks in time. So we are only interested in the pink-yellow friend, or pink-yellow cards. So we've got these 3 here, and we've got Pinkie Pie down here. And disclaimer right now, I've tried Pinkie Pie, One Philly Party, so many times, and she does not work. She just unfortunately doesn't. The Applejack and Fluttershy is so much better with 2 instead of 1. Like, I tried really hard to get Pinkie Pie, One Philly Party to work. She just doesn't. So right now, I'm going to tell you, she's not making this deck. There are better options. Anyway, one such better option of these 4 friends, well, 3 friends, since we've already excluded Pinkie Pie. Can you guess which one of these we're going to be adding? Anyone want to guess? We're only going to be adding one of these 3 friends. At least for right now. We might come back, but there's one on here that immediately comes to mind. Looks like Godot has already guessed unplanned guests, which is not a bad guess. Like he said, works very well with Pink's borrowing effects. Anyone else want to have a guess before I move on? It's going to be Discord, Sprite says, and Sprite is correct. It is Discord. So why Discord? Why? Well, it's because he is actually really, really good at dealing with troublemakers. Retire a friend anywhere. It could be at Discord's problem, at a different problem, at home. Doesn't matter. To choose a troublemaker here at Discord's problem. That troublemaker does not prevent you from confronting its problem until the end of the turn. So, he is repeatable TM busting, and the only cost is retiring a friend. And pro tip, pink and yellow are very good at making friends. Very good. This is why you see stuff like Animal Allies, which cares about the number of friends you have, because yellow makes a lot of friends very easily. This is why you see stuff like Pinkie Pie Holiday Spirit, who cares about the number of friends you have, because pink is very good at making friends. Pink yellow is going to be able to make friends very easily, and you're not going to have an issue retiring friends to TM Bus. Now, Sneaky Snake's not going to be our only TM Buster, but he's still a very good one. Plus, the fact that he is one yellow wreck means we can play him off of a Philly Fluttershy without having to grow her up. So he can be used as kind of entry as well. And yes, he's also a snack. But yeah, the other major thing here is that the retire a friend, because yes, as Godot guessed earlier, we are going to be adding Berry Punches and Orange Swirls to this deck. Sorry, Berry Punch and Orange Swirls is one card to this deck, and nothing will tick a control player off quite like stealing their Paper Twilight, retiring him to Discord so that you can bypass their troublemaker for the DFO to get rid of their troublemakers, etc., 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 etc. It's not a bad combo, is what I'm trying to say here. So, Spike, we are not going to be adding because the 3/3 wreck is a bit much for what he does. And while we will have lots of friends entering play, all he does is give you more power, and we're not going to have issues with that, I don't think. And unplanned guests, while fine, we're going to have another card that does something very similar, but is in fact better. Namely, the song right here, Music in the Treetops. So, you'll notice the third mode here, each player who retires a friend, is the same as unplanned guests, right? When this enters play, each player retires a friend. The other thing that Music in the Treetops does very well is you can put two critters into play. And again, like I said, pink-yellow cares about having lots of friends. So we're probably going to, for now, we're going down a full play set. The first mode, looking at the two top cards of the problem deck and putting them back on top or bottom, is going to be less useful. You're almost never going to actually use it for this. Sometimes it might be handy to try and avoid a blackmail, like, if you want to Snips and Snails their problem or something. And, blackmail is not a problem that you want to see coming up. Because, like I said before, you're not as fast as blue, so you might not quite get to problems as fast as blue. Anyway, we also have Train Station, but Train Station is not that great. Food Fight's better in almost all circumstances. Yes, you can use Train Station more than once, but are you ever going to be able to? Chances are no. And it's also not immediate. Well, it is immediate, but you have to play the Train Station before, and it's kind of awkward. Anyway, we are not done with pink-yellow cards, because we do have to check over here. Let's see, we've got two. We've got Defenders of Equestria, Hive Heroes, and we've got Petunia Paleo. You'll notice that kind of these two are very in a way, they are similar to Discord Sneaky Snake. Defenders lets you bypass troublemakers, right? By retiring your friend, and Petunia lets you retire friends repeatedly, right? The problems here with both of these friends, in fact, is Defenders of Equestria only works once, right? And when they work, they turn a Troublemaker face down instead of letting you bypass it. Bypassing it is much stronger because they don't get the benefit of uncovering it again. Like, let's say it was the new Tempest Shadow main, or not main, Troublemaker. Then they would get to turn your vinyl over again, which is annoying at the very least. Or turn their main over if that would help them or whatever. Or maybe it's Nightmare Moon and then you discard your hand and you're sad. You don't want that. So turning a what. While on the other hand, if you just bypass it, if you actually DFO, you get rid of that Troublemaker. It's just gone. So that's much, much better. Secondly, costs 3. It's 2 rec. Sneaky Snake just has everything we want on it. Now, Defenders can get big. You're probably going to be retiring and dismissing, or you're not going to be dismissing your own friends. You're going to be retiring your own friends a bunch. Your opponent might be dismissing your friends. So he might get big, but it's just not quite there. Petunia, on the other hand, like we said, problem deck manipulation isn't that important. So despite the fact that she is 1/1 rec, she's not quite where we want her to be. So unfortunately, we're going to pass on her as well. And that's it for pink yellow. We're done. So okay, so now we've got to go to pink cards, right? So I've mentioned them a few times already. We're definitely going to be adding some Snips and Snails. Like I said, very good TM Buster. It's friend-based as well, so it gets past, what's it called? Mimics. Opponent can't do anything about that. Well, I mean, they can, but it's not quite as easy. So right now our TM busting, we've got 6 TM Busters, and they all get past Mimics. Snips and Snails doesn't get past Trixie or what's the other one? Nightmare Star, though. However, Discord Sneaky Snake does get past Nightmare Star. Not Trixie, though, because Discord does make you choose a Troublemaker at his place. So a little bit of awkwardness still. But still, these are both cards we are fine playing even against non-aggro players. Snips and Snails is very, is efficient at 3 power, 2 cost, right? Can disrupt some opposing trading tradition plans. Turn 2, you could go flip vinyl, play Snips and Snails, blow up your trading traditions, right? So Snips and Snails is still very, very, very good. And there's a reason we haven't seen effects like this since Snips and Snails. It's because they are about as good as we're ever going to get on this effect. However, it's not everything. So I am going to add one other TM Buster. Sort of. Again, this is a card that we like, though. This is a card we are willing to play against non-control. Industrial Revolution. So now we have 9 TM Busters, but they are all cards we are perfectly willing to play, even if the opponent has 0 TMs. Snips and Snails is a friend. It is very efficient. Discord helps us get further into pink, And Industrial Revolution makes us critters, which again we're going to like, and is just helps DFO if the opponent's problem is big or whatever. It's just good. So right now we're in a decent anti-control position, and we haven't sacrificed our aggro capability because these are all perfectly fine aggro cards, even if the opponent has no troublemakers. Let's see. So there's a few other key pink cards we want here. As mentioned before, we want Berry Punch and Orange Swirl, and we definitely want some belly flops. These are pretty useful. You know, even if you don't have the belly flop, Berry Punch and Orange Swirl is pretty useful here. Another pretty useful card for us is Holiday Spirit. Despite the fact that we don't need more entry, right? In pink, we obviously don't. You can play her turn 1 on the play, and suddenly you're confronting because you have more friends than them. Plus, pink yellow, like I said, makes a lot of friends. So chances are you're going to have more friends than the opponent. So why not have a 2-cost 4-power friend like all the time? So at the very least, worth considering. Maybe we won't keep her, but if this was a yellow main, we would 100% for sure keep her because she's just going to do everything that that deck wants, right? Okay. Food fight is a reasonable consideration as well, so we'll add some food fights while we're thinking about it. We're already at 38 of 45, but it's entirely possible. In fact, very likely we're going to go over that and then start cutting back down. So now we need to add some more yellow cards here, I think. But that's fine. We've got some pretty useful yellow cards here. So while we're good at making friends and disrupting the opponent and all that stuff, what we're not really good at right now is getting our characters to problems. However, there was a card in Defenders in yellow that helps very, very much with that. Now, before Defenders, I would have said we're going to have to try Pinkie Pie, One Philly Party. But I've tried this friend in Pinkie Pie's place, and it works much, much, much better. It's technically 2 friends, but it's only on 1 card. Whoops. It's Mr. and Mrs. Shy. Your friends at home have Swift. That counts them if they're at home. And, lets us move our 4-power pinkies to problems, like, pretty easily. Lets us move our big thoraxes, 2, 3, 4-power thoraxes to problems quickly, 1 AT. So it's not quite as good as a lot of blue movement, but it's still a reasonable option. And they're good rate, 3 for 3. And the turn you play them, you can then move up a pinky. And now you have got 7 power at the problem, and it only costs you 4 AT. That's pretty good, right? That being said, if you look at our friends right now, you'll notice there's a kind of a problem here. Most of our friends are kind of small. Pinkie is 4 sometimes. Fluttershy is 3 if you want to pay for her. Sips and Snails is 3, but most of these are 2s and 1s. Thorax might become 4, right? So we probably want at least one other big friend. And if it was, so I want to add, we might still add Citizens and just have a little bit too much entry. Oh, so Citizens is pretty good in a deck where you're making a lot of friends and you have multiple colors, right? They just get pretty big pretty quickly. Now the issue with adding Citizens is the 3 cost means we can't use Citizens alongside Berry Punch to flip our main turn 2, right? So if we added Citizens, you know what? I think this is still fine. I think we do add Citizens. We're only going to add 2, and we're going to replace the Sun Showers. So it's less likely for us to play Berry Punch into a yellow entry flipped Vinyl. But keep in mind, like I said before, you can still move Vinyl, worst case scenario. Or, you could play Pinkie and you're still fine. You could even play Berry Punch and Orange Swirl. It's not great. In fact, I would never play Berry Punch and Orange Swirl over just moving Vinyl. So never mind. Flurry Heart is actually not good in the deck if we're trying to use Mr. and Mrs. Shy, because now we're wasting our own AT. It's not the worst suggestion though. You know what? Let's add Flurry. Well, let's add Flurry. See how that works out for us. She is a bigger friend, and sometimes she'll go where we want her to, or someone will go where we want someone to go. Let's see what other key yellow. Let's look at friends for right now. Yellow friends. I want to add Brian. I would add Brian. Oh, I forgot something very important. Super, mega, ultra important. We need resource removal. And we can't use Brian. Because we can't use Brian yet. No, I want to use Brian. So we're going to use a yellow event. That is, friends are always there. If the opponent has no resources, it's critters. If they do have resources, it's resource removal. And if they have trollmakers, sometimes you even use it for that, but you're almost never going to. We already have enough ways to get past trollmakers. We don't need this to get past trollmakers. Lemon Hearts. Lemon Hearts is a good point, too. Lemon Hearts costs 2, same as Friends Are Always There, and gives you 2 power. But, and this is very important, despite the fact that Lemon Hearts has immediate, the moment you play Lemon Hearts, the opponent has the option to react. Let's say they have Nap Cakes. They Nap Cakes your Lemon Hearts. Now you just paid 2 AT to make them pay 1 AT in a card, and you lost a card, and they draw. Or maybe they'll belly flop it or food fight it. Or it cannot food fight, obviously, but they'll do something to poor Lemon Hearts. And now that resource is still there. So while Lemon Hearts is good, we don't need Lemon Hearts in this deck. At the same cost, 2 AT, we can dismiss it main phase, and it's gone. Just gone. Opponent can't stop that. Or we have the flexibility of still being power, like Lemon Hearts, only more power, it's 3. Plus, this helps us turn on our citizens and our Pinkie Pies by making 3 friends, right? It's very important to stay large. Plus, it helps us feed our discords in a pinch. Or, you can use this in combination with Belly Flop. Now you have 2 critters. You spent 3 AT to make 2 critters and dismiss the opponent's scariest friend, right? So in this particular deck, much better than Lemon Hearts, I think. And Bewitched Beavers, while it is 1 AT and it is immediate, those are good stats. Very, very good stats. Right now, in the current meta, there's nothing that you really need to immediately dismiss. When Pile was a thing, Bewitched Beavers was amazing because you could immediately dismiss Pile. But right now, the biggest resources we see, it's just fine to dismiss them main phase. So the immediate is nice, but not necessary. And again, it's not as versatile. It does cost less, but not as versatile. So I'd rather have the versatility of Friends Are Always There over Bewitched Beavers. Anyway, Tough Love, good card. We're not going to run it in this deck. Pink has the actual hard removal, which is stronger than Bounce. Plus 4 rec is kind of rough to meet. So we're going to pass on Tough Love here. Similarly, Turning Point, good card. One of the best TM Busters in the game, but it's only a TM Buster. And we already have enough versatile ways to get past TMs that we don't need something that only busts TMs. So I think that's it for the events down here. Yeah. Resources. You might be tempted to add Conductor's Baton. This is a trap. Conductor's Baton almost never works out for you as well as you think it will. I have tried Conductor's Baton a lot, and I usually find myself going, I would rather play a friend that does something and would give me similar amounts of power. There are decks where Baton is good. I'm positive that there are decks that Baton is good, and you would think would be a go wide deck like this, but this is actually not where it needs to be. It really truly isn't. We already have our big friends in Pinkie Pie, sometimes Thorax, and Changeling Citizens. We don't really get that much benefit from making our smaller friends bigger. Owl, uh, similar. I actually don't want to run Owl because we already have the 2 zeros. I don't want to increase that to 5. And basically that's it. Well, plus Owl doesn't do anything on its own. It's not bad though. It's definitely not bad. However, you know what? I was wrong. There is another yellow event we need to consider. Staring contest. Now, the reason we need to consider staring contest is very simple. Bunyip. Now, you might be thinking, why are we using staring contests on Bunyip? Why would that ever be a good thing? It's very simple. When Bunyip is frightened, you can still use staring contests on Bunyip. Now, you might be thinking, why would I have my frightened Bunyip in a staring contest with the opponent? Well, one of two things is going to happen. One, you might win the face-off, in which case you bounce their big, scary thing that you didn't want in the first place. You know, that's a win. Two, you might lose, in which case you put the Bunyip in your hand. And it's cheaper to play Bunyip than it is to rally Bunyip. So instead of 2 AT to score an extra point, that's 1 AT to score an extra point. And again, maybe you win the face-off and you bounce something you didn't want there anyway. So, staring contest. This was technology used in old Candle at Night. It's used to bounce owls. You would go my 0 versus your 4. Sometimes you'd win, sometimes you'd lose. Either way, you were happy. So, staring contest. Very, very important card in yellow aggro. At least, plus, another good card to do that with. Berry Punch and Orange Swirl. If you win, you bounce their friend. If you lose, you steal their friend. Not bad. Not bad. So, yeah, staring contest is almost certainly going to make the final cut here. Anyway, do we have any other... So, let's see. Any pink resources? Cardboard box, we actually need to run at least 2 cardboard boxes. In fact, I would say exactly 2 cardboard boxes. Because, believe it or not, farm is a popular archetype. And, you might see some farm once or twice. And while Snips and Snails is still pretty good against farm, because you get to push them back and get rid of their troublemaker, cardboard box is a little bit extra security. Now, yes, it is the only thing in their deck they're going to play Epiphany on, but if they don't have an Epiphany, they're boxed. If they do have an Epiphany, they paid more than you did. And farm decks don't like paying AT. They really don't. That's why everything in their deck is cheap. That being said, you're still going to have a very hard time against farm because farm has Catajack, and you're going to go, but I'm trying to make a million friends. And whoops, but you can't have a strong matchup against everything. So, yeah, we do need the boxes. And it's still okay against other aggro decks. Put it on a Night Glider or a Balloona. That's not bad. It's okay. It's not your first choice, though. That's what we need. We need Party Bomb to get rid of all of our critters. No, okay, that's not a good choice. I think we're fine on pink events. Basically, we only wanted the removal, I think. We don't need this because we have vinyl. Yeah, never mind. Well, how did I forget that? Very silly. We don't need Gabby for the exact same reason. We don't need Cadence. You might think Minuet is good in this deck, and she's probably fine, but I think we just have better options than Minuet. Yes, works very well with Berry Punch and Orange Swirl, and you can get her very big, but we already have the Citizens, which is entry and gets similarly large and doesn't require you to retire all your friends. And we have the the sneaky snakes to retire friends too that we borrow, as well as the berry punches. So we don't really need Minuet. It would just be a little bit of extra niceness, not necessary. Sonata, pretty good, but berry punch and orange swirl is better, and I don't think we need more than 3 of those effects in the deck. Oh, what else? PFF could help us find some key friends, but we're already drawing 2 cards a turn. I don't think we need PFF. Breakdown. Breakdown is an interesting choice because it gets rid of the opponent's exhausting cards, right? I would consider this meta dependent though, because she's not going to do an awful lot against aggro decks unless it's Scootaloo aggro. So I would consider adding this, but in the generic deck that I'm going to try pitching here, I don't think we want Breakdown. Discord is fine, but we don't need him. Hoops, again, not as good as Berry Punch or Orange Swirl. Crystal Pie is pretty good, to be perfectly honest. But I don't think it's really what this deck is trying to do. And yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, any key yellow friends I'm missing? Okay, Philomena. Philomena's a pretty good yellow friend. Helps make sure that the opponent doesn't have more than 2 AT on your turn, which can be very useful. So let's go ahead and add a couple, see if we wind up keeping her. Plus, she's very aggressive. 1 AT, 2 power, pretty good. The 3 rec is a little awkward though, because we're assuming 2. Angel is okay. Furball, gives us 2 bodies for 2, but again, 3 rec is a bit awkward. 3 rec here. Smooth is fine, but is more for control, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so Godot mentions juggling routine. You're throwing a lot of friends into the bin, and in theory, you should be outdrawing your opponent if you get stalled out somehow. True. However, juggling routine on its own isn't... Juggling routine is usually best if you're combining it with something else. And while you are retiring friends, usually you're going to be retiring either the opponent's friends or your critters that you're making. So you're not terribly worried about getting them back. And frequently you're just going to wind up drawing it and being sad that you drew it. If I added one, it would just be a single copy. Because, like I said, you don't have anything that really synergizes with it. You don't have the Penny Hooves. You don't have a tutor suite or anything like that. It's not really what I would go for. Battle Snakes, great card, but we already have so much TM busting. Battle Snakes is not necessary. It's very overkill at this point. And also, returning it to the owner's hand means they can play it again and then uncover it, and then whoops, they got that benefit. Equestrian General is fine, is a very good card, but not in this particular deck. Zippo! Zipperwill! Now let's add some Zipperwills. Zipperwill works very well with both Pinky and, where is it? Citizens, right? Makes them bigger. Plus, by keeping your critters around, and we've got some critters in this deck. I guess just this one here, and this one. These ones, and these ones, and... Where'd the song go? Did I not actually add the friends are? Oh my, I forgot to add the friends are always there. Wow. Okay, so the friends are always there, which I'll add in a moment as well. So we'll have a bunch of critters that will just let our citizens stay very large, and our Pinky stay very large. How did I miss the friends are always there? That very silly. So we're going to add a full 3 for right now. It might be safe to just make that 2. Raptor Razor. Raptor Razor. Again, so Raptor Razor is an anti-troublemaker card, right? So if the opponent has no troublemakers, and since we have no troublemakers, she will be a 3-cost friend that is only 2 power. Not very efficient. If they do have troublemakers, we would rather than make friends to try and beat the troublemakers, we just want to get past those troublemakers, which is what Discord, Industrial Revolution, Snips and Snails, and Friends Are Always There all do. Or Friends Are Always There all do, right? They let us get past that troublemaker. Raptor Razor does not. So Raptor Razor is best suited for decks that actually have their own troublemakers. And we're not going to. That's not for this deck. So I think we're just about at the point where we're going to start cutting. Zephyr is a good card, but the 3 rec is awkward, at least in this deck. Flutter Holly is fine, but Citizens is better, and I don't think we need more than what we have. You know, I would kind of like to have 3 Citizens, but I think Skystar, if we did a Skystar yellow, would run 3 Citizens. But when we're using Vinyl, we're not going to use Citizens. Oh, why can't I just add Brian, huh? Why can't I just add Brian? Can we retroactively shove Brian? Like, see, it's from Defenders, right? See, it's in Defenders. The set says it's Defenders, so gotta be Defenders, right? No, okay. So we're at 57 out of 45. That's much. We do need to cut 12 cards. First place I'm going to look at is probably right here. We've got probably too many events, non-friends, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 20, right? We don't want our aggro deck to have 20, maybe 15, which means we need to cut 5 of these. Ugh. So for our removal, we might be fine just getting rid of Food Fight, because we have our belly flops. We have our Music in the Treetops, which gets back to Appaloosa, by the way. We have our Berry Punches, Orange Swirls. We have our Staring Contests. So I think we're okay. And we can afford to lose the Food Fight because we actually have the removal elsewhere. So yeah, we're just going to unfortunately lose the Food Fights. Now 2 more. You'd think that would be Cardboard Box, but no. I think it's going to be 1 Friends Are Always There. We'll just have the 2 resource removal. It's probably fine. There aren't terribly many resources we're scared of. The biggest one being Study Session, of course. And I think we're going to go down to only 2 Staring Contests. Because it is unreliable as removal. You don't know how it's going to work. And typically you only really want maybe 1 or 2 anyway. Like, I would probably not be happy to draw 3 Staring Contests. While most of these other cards I'd be fine drawing 3 of. So we're only going to run 2 Staring Contests. So, hey, look, now we only need 7 cards. And I already note... okay, so I think we're just going to cut Flurry here. I just don't think this is the deck for Flurry. Not in an aggro deck. At least not this aggro deck. On top of that, we're only going to run 2 Mr. and Mrs. Shies and 2 Zipper Wills. So the reason there is because they kind of fill similar roles. Zippo increases your home limit artificially, and Mr. and Mrs. Shy lets you move stuff away from home, right? And they're fairly power efficient as well, and stuff like that. The other thing is having 2 Mr. and Mrs. Shies doesn't help you. Having 2 Zipper Wills doesn't help you. Like, I mean, sure, you could cutie mark her again. That's really it. And when you're running Vinyl and the Berry Punch and Orange Swirls, we're going to eventually draw one of them, and it'll be fine. So we only need 2 of each. So we're down to 15 here and 32 up here. We definitely don't want to cut our entry. Ooh, Do you notice the problem here? I'm noticing a problem. Have you noticed this problem? Okay. This is very, very important. So our thoraxes don't turn on most of our yellow cards, right? At least not if it's our only thorax. Citizens can, but we need at least 2 other characters. Fortunately, we can play all of our pink characters off of, 1 yellow. We can also, or not 1 yellow, off of our main. I don't know why I said 1 yellow. But we can play all these, so we can power up citizens. Berry Punch powers up citizens twice. So we can get citizens up to 3. And Fluttershy, we can just cutie mark up to 3. But Thorax does not get us to 3 unless we have another Thorax on our discard. So I think we have to cut Philomena here. Just because, we can Thorax into Discord into the rest of these. But other than that, we would have to Thorax into Music in the Treetops. And using this to play friends is not usually what we want to do. Thorax into Industrial Revolution, right? So, or play Thorax and then Fluttershy. So, or 2 Thoraxes, or So yeah, we're going to cut the Philomenas, just because we can't reliably play all of our yellow friends off of just Thorax. That's a problem. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. You saw nothing. Saw nothing. Anyway, so we got up to 45. It's not perfect. Like I said, I want Brian. That would help with the Thorax issue, because you can play Brian off of Thorax. And I'm sure there will be some other yellow cards, maybe even some pink yellow cards that are worth including. But for right now, this is fine. I think this is in a spot where I would be fine field testing this, throwing it at a few decks, and then improving it from there, seeing how it performs. It is very noticeably slower than Blue Aggro. This is never going to win faster than Hot Wings wins. But it might still beat Hot Wings, because it does have a similar amount of removal to Hot Wings. And it, because you're drawing extra cards, you're going to see your removal more frequently. And you've got similar tricks. You are going to have to play conservative, though, right? Hot Wings is going to be very fast, so you're going to have to be cautious about that. Brian would help so much with that too, but oh well, we don't have Brian. So, oh right, problems. We need problems. Okay, so let's build us a problem deck. So, I already know 4 problems that are going in here right away. Tough Call, 2 bonus, lets us draw more cards, and Secret to Every Pony. Only 1 bonus, but it makes our stuff cheaper, and that's great. I like cheap friends. Now, sure, some of our friends cost 1 and won't help there. We have a lot of 2 cost and 3 cost friends, so it's perfectly fine. Any other pink friends pink problems? Deep Dark Forest isn't bad. Deep Dark Forest is actually pretty good, because you can put your Berry Punch there, and then a Bunyip there, and just keep rallying Bunyip every turn, and the opponent can't face off that away, unless you let them or whatever. They can't face off it away on their turn, and they can't play Troublemakers there. There can still be Troublemakers face up there in a number of nefarious ways. So sure, let's add Deep Dark Forest. It's just fine. All of our pink friends can contribute the pink, and all of our yellow friends can contribute the non-pink, including the critters we make. So it's a perfectly fine problem. How about some yellow problems? Are there any good yellow problems? Yes, there are. They are all of the ones that I would want to add, however, are in Equestrian. Yeah, that one. Here, friends with 3 power or more can't be played here. I would actually very, very highly consider adding this, except for one huge important problem. Steps and Snails is 3 power, and if there's a Troublemaker there that we want to get rid of, we can't play Steps and Snails there, so we're not going to run this problem. Anxious Animals, however, is very good, and it gives us more critters, which, again, turn on our Pinkie Pies, turn on our or make our citizens better, and are things that we are fine to retire to other cards, right? So that's 9. We need one more problem. And so this is a bit of a controversial one, but I think we can get away with it. Sharing up a friend. Players can't confront this problem unless they have at least 4 characters here. We make a lot of characters, so it shouldn't be too hard to have 4 characters here for us. Though, really, what we should actually add is Plunder Season Ponyville. Dismiss all those Hot Wings friends. Won't hurt us at all because we have zero friends with 2 or less power. Not a single one. You know what? Actually, I think I like sharing up a friend enough that I want to add 2. Ooh. Okay, we're going to only run 1 Deep Dark Forest and 2 sharing up friends. And sometimes you might consider running Deep Dark Forest over Concern and Cutie Mark, right? So now we've got options. You can still play Berry Punch here and a yellow friend to flip and final and still confront. It's not as great with this deck, but you can do it. And the 1 wreck, you can do that with Fluttershy. So trade-offs. Anyway, so that is my pink-yellow deck. How are we for time? Oh goodness, I've already been doing this for an hour. It's because I took so long in the beginning. Well, let's do at least 1 more, maybe 2 more. So Sprite wanted to see pink-purple. Do we want to do pink-purple? Do we want to do a Fluttershy Friend to Animals deck, like I said before? Do we want to do something completely different? No pink, no yellow, no blue, no white, no blue, no white, no purple, no orange, no blue. I don't know. Does anyone have any suggestions? Let's put it that way. Sprite had 1, and maybe we can still do that. Pink purple with Moon Dancer. Okay, that's 2 people voting for pink purple Moon Dancer. Okay. Well, I've got like 4 people in chat right now, maybe 3, maybe 5. So sure, let's go ahead and do pink purple with Moon Dancer. Also wants to see pink purple because you have pink purple. Okay, so let's do pink purple. People want to see pink purple. Pink purple aggro. So let's talk about purple aggro real quick here while I change the scene here. Pink purple aggro. So purple aggro is interesting. We have historically seen purple aggro usually not work terribly well. Major exceptions. Last year at Everfree, not this year, not 2017, 2016, we saw a blue-purple aggro deck win. Also last year, we saw a mono-purple deck get 2nd place in European Continentals. So it's not like purple aggro is completely unheard of or anything. It can work, but it's hard to work. So how do we make it work, right? So so we want to see Moon Dancers, right? So so first things first, we add Moon Dancers. Obviously, this is the Moon Dancer you're talking about. I don't know why you want to add a purple-white card to a pink-purple deck, but also doesn't really feel very aggro-y. Kind of feels like a control card to me. What? That's the wrong Moon Dancer? Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay. Sure. Well, we'll add Page Turner. So so Page Turner. Page Turner wants you to put cards on top of your deck. That is what she does. Conveniently, she has that built into her chaos, right? If you flip Moon Dancer, you can put a card on top of your deck, and then Moon Dancer gets bigger. So, however, we need other ways to do that. You know what would be very convenient? Maybe? How about a main that puts cards on top of your deck every single turn? Right? That is going to require us to run Ancient Research. Let's run 2. And that is going to require us to also run Owlowishes. Why Aloysius? Very simple. Very simple. Because if we lose our ancient research, we need a way to enter purple. So we want our Aloysiuses. Aloysius also happens to be meticulous with a purple mane. Pro tip, we have a purple mane. So, meticulous is good for our moon dancers. We're going to need some pink entry. So how about some pink friends, right? You know what's a good pink entry card that we had just talked about just a moment ago? Holiday Spirit. Now, you're not always going to have more friends than opponent in this deck, but you might. So she's still worth adding. And pardon me for a moment, I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not going to sneeze. Never mind. Okay. Now we need more pink entry. You know what's a very, very good pink entry card? Where is she? Where is she? She's around here somewhere. I've passed her. Lily! There we go, Lily. And now we need one more. And I think we're probably going to go with Ambassador. I mean, why did I say Ambassador? Philly Pinky. Philly Pinky. So there's our 8 entry. You know what? We're playing Twilight. Do we think we can get away with 6 entry? Do we think we can get away with 6 entry? Probably not. We'll revisit that. But Pinky's going to be our last entry on the off chance that we can't do that. Okay. So, you know what? We want. So we're running Moon Dancer, right? You know what we want to look at our multicolor cards. Pink, purple. There was that sneeze. I'm sorry. Pink, purple has some cards that it has a very, very important card that we want. That I can't find it because it's not a friend. Namely, Pinky the Party Planner. Pinky the Party Planner will let us draw cards and then put a card on top of our deck, powering up our Moon Dancer. Or it'll let us dismiss friends with 3 or more power. And there are some friends with 3 or more power that we probably would not mind dismissing. So Pinky the Party Planner is just fine for us here. What else? That's unfortunately the only event. There's the resource. The resource is not quite good enough. Once upon a time it was, but in playtesting it just was too good, so we had to change it, and things happen. Anyway, so we're purple base. So now I am going to let you all in a secret here. A lot of purple decks, a lot of purple aggro decks, try and do a certain thing that I don't think they should actually be doing. They try and run cover to cover. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, doesn't cover to cover do everything I want? Gives me AT, puts cards on top, is a friend. Not really. Because yes, AT is nice, and yes, the Meticulous is nice, but we're playing aggro here. You probably can't afford to spend 2 AT on turn 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever just to play cover to cover. It just sets you behind. Now, there are still ways we can get our AT. We are playing purple. We're going to want something, right? But cover to cover is actually not what we want. Plus, 0 flip, right? So, I think what we're actually going to run here might surprise you here. We're going to actually run. I think we're going to run a couple of Cutie Mark Vaults. Cutie Mark Vault costs you 1 instead of 2, right? Now, yes, cover to cover gives you that 1 AT investment right away, right? So they both kind of cost 1. But it's a higher flip, and we're going to be putting a card on top of our deck every single turn, thanks to Twilight. So we're going to be able to put stuff on here, and you're going to be able to get your investment back from this pretty quickly. And I don't think it'll, like, yes, it doesn't have Meticulous, but I think it's still just fine. You're not hurting your flip average to include it either. The other thing I think we want to add is, because we are running Twilight Ambassador of Friendship, which again, if you lose your Ancient Research, you lose your purple. We're going to run Truffle. Now, why Truffle? He gives you some AT. He's 1 rec, so you can play him off of an unflipped Twilight, worst case scenario. We're not in, he gives you power on your turn, because usually opponents move characters on their turn. Sometimes they do it on your turn, and yes, if they do, you can exhaust Truffle, but so you can use him to actually confront problems, while you can't do that with Paper Twilight. And he still gives you AT. Most decks move characters in one way or another, so you'll get some AT off of him. It might not be guaranteed AT like Paper Twilight, but we don't need guaranteed AT. We need friends that do things, right? Because if we don't have our Moon Dancer, Truffle gives us 2 power, while what's it called? Paper Twilight gives us nothing. And I'm gonna let you all in a little secret here. Moon Dancer, she has a huge target planet on her. Huge. Players love destroying Moon Dancers, because people build their deck around Moon Dancer, and then something happens and Moon Dancer's gone, and you don't have a backup plan. So the fact that Truffle can actually help us confront problems is a reasonable backup plan, right? I want every friend in this deck to be able to help us confront problems, because we're not always 100% going to be able to rely on Moon Dancer. Yes, Moon Dancer will help. Yes, she is very good. We don't want everything to revolve around her. Speaking of, we need more ways to boost our Moon Dancer, however. But again, we want ways to boost her that are not going to harm us in other ways. And one of the best Meticulous cards is Princess Luna here. She's 2 for 2, and when you play an event, and we're going to add some more events, don't worry, you can also put Figments into play for 1 AT, right? So she really helps us confront problems. She can be a backup win condition, since we're not always going to have Moon Dancers, and she helps power up Moon Dancers. So, she's just about everything we want. What else? We need some events. Let's look at some purple events. Now, you might be thinking, hey, purple events, putting stuff on top of my deck, we want Star Swirl Research. You don't. Why don't you want Star Swirl Research? Well, first off, we already have enough ways to put stuff on top that we don't need to use it to help flip our main. We've got Moon Dancers. This is rarely going to happen, but we've got Moon Dancers. We've got Aloysiuses. We've got Pinky the Party Planner. We've got Princess Lunas. We're probably going to add 1 or 2 others in a moment here, to be perfectly honest. All Star Swirl Research does is go on top of your deck. And yes, flips high, but we're already banking on the fact that we're going to have a lot of power off of Moon Dancer. We don't need more. It's just overkill. Scope, yes, Scope is almost certainly going in here. Purple events. So we want Scope things out. At least 2. Let's add 3 for now. We want Napcakes. Napcakes in a pinch can actually flip your main too. You almost never want to do this, but you can if you really need to. We need is Portal going to be worth it in this deck? No, we have nothing right now that triggers off of entering play. So not Portal, but let's add some Magicites for right now. Actually, you know what? We're not going to add Magicite. Our other removal is going to be pink. I think we need resource removal. So you know what? We have 0 resources in our deck right now. 0. We're also probably going to usually have a rather full hand. So Mysterious Disappearance is just fine. We can Chaos it, put it on top with Pinky the Party Planner, and whoops, bam, there goes that annoying resource the opponent had. Or, scope things out it, or, we can actually play it for 0, discard 2 cards, it's just fine. So we're going to run 2 Mysterious Disappearances. Rainbow Shine. Rainbow Shine is probably going to make this deck, yes. Some more card draw, and kind of like AT, and unlike cover to cover, you know what? In fact, let's take out the Cutie Mark faults that I just said were not in here because I said we had no resources. Whoops, I was wrong. We're definitely not running Mysterious Disappearance and Cutie Mark fault. Bad combo. We're going to run the Rainbow Shines instead and have that be our alternative AT generator, in addition to Truffle. And again, both of these friends help us confront problems. Plus, we can play Rainbow Shine off of Philly Pinky. So yes, good call there, Godot. How did I forget good old Rainbow Shine? Okay, what else? What else? We still have plenty of space here. We need some pink events. So Belly Flop is actually probably not going to be terribly great here. 3 rec off. We're not going to have 3 as frequently as we would like. Plus, we don't really have friends we want to retire, so we're going to go with the Food Fights instead. So Food Fight works very well with Napcakes. Food Fight hits the big things, Napcakes hits the small things. You got it. It's great. It's perfect. We might want to add something else, however. Cutie Pox Outbreak. So I think we're going to add... Yeah, I think we're going to add 2 Cutie Pox Outbreaks. And the reason we're not going to have more Cutie Pox Outbreaks than Food Fights, partly, again, remember, the 3 rec. The other major reason is it's face-off timing. So you actually need to get involved in a face-off, but since we have the scopes and the Pinky the Party Planners, we can get this to happen frequently. Web of Dreams works well with Belly Flop. That's true. That's true. I think I still prefer Cutie Pox Outbreak in here, to be perfectly honest. But I might be wrong. Again, playtesting will get you a better feel for sure. Let's see. Do you know what else we need? We need Snips and Snails. We need something to help us get past Troublemakers. And Snips and Snails is a good way to get past Troublemakers. I guess... So, okay, we're already trying to hit through Snips and Snails. Lily lets us hit 3 by retiring something. Pinkie Pie lets us hit 3. Playing this Pinkie Pie can let us hit 3 if we have more friends than them. But, I don't know. I don't think Belly Flop is correct for this deck. I really don't. There might be a pink-purple... Well, okay, I know there is a pink-purple deck for Belly Flop. It's just fine for the deck. I don't think it's this one. I think we're just fine with our Party... Oh, we have Party Planner and Food Fight? Do we need that? This is immediate. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and run them both. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, that's a little high, but, Purple cares a bit more about events. Plus, we have the Meticulous to help us filter that out. Oh, TM... Web of Dreams is a TM buster. Oh, okay. Yeah, that can help. for sure. Especially with Rainbow Shine making our events cheaper, right? So yeah, I think we're at an okay place for our events. We are, however, so right now we have Stitch and Snails and kind of Princess Luna and kind of Moon Dancer. Um, let's see. What else could we use to bust TMs? It's so because we have our Meticulous, we're probably okay running natural 20. It's not great. It's not the best option, but it might be what we need to. Do I have resource removal yet? Yeah, right. Mysterious disappearance. Silly me. Oh, misfire. We want. I'm going to add 2 misfires rather than 1 misfire and 1 destiny drain. Misfire. Uh, worst case scenario, you can exhaust Rainbow Shine, play misfire, draw a card. Like, yeah. So it's not great against some decks. Like against Hot Wings, the only thing it's relevant against is getting rid of their experienced Spitfires. So some decks Misfire is not going to do you anything, but neither would Destiny Drain. But some decks you're going to really want the Misfire. So yeah, we definitely want 2 Misfires for sure. And now we're 1 card short. Ugh, 1 card is not a place to be. Let's look at some friends that I might be forgetting about. I am forgetting a very, very important friend that I think Sprite's going to be very ecstatic about. Can you guess who it is, Sprite? Can you? Candlelight Knights? No, it's not Candlelight Knights. My bad. It's Crystal Games. Yeah, Trixie. We want some Trixies. I think 2 is fine. So Trixie here is going to be our backup Moon Dancer. Because she gets very, very big. And we have a lot of events, and she is actually an aggro card. She is a purple aggro card. It might be correct to run a full 3. Yeah, we're going to run full 3. Because she is basically 2AT confront a problem. Show your opponent some of the cards in your hand. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Cool. So yeah. Trixie, the great and powerful show-off, which is fine for us having a bunch of events. We can do stuff like show them the magical misfire that we don't care about that they know we have, or the mysterious disappearance. We don't care that they know we have. Obviously, you'd prefer, to keep some of the stuff secret, but 2 power for each event. So you only really need to show like 2 or 3 events. Makeover. I think instead of Pinkie Pie growing up, and instead of Makeover, I think we're going to play this a little cautiously. Where is Pinkie Pie growing up? We're going to take out Pinkie Pie growing up. And we're going to add, not Makeover, very close. We're going to add Join the Herd. Now, why Join the Herd? Because in the Nightmare scenario that you don't flip Twilight, and you have no Aloysius. Actually, you know what? No. Makeover is just fine, because we have Truffle and we have Rainbow Shine. Yeah, never mind. We're fine. Makeover is fine. And cheaper. And more flip. Makeover, yeah. Plus, you can exhaust your Rainbow Shine to play Makeover. I don't think you ever would in this deck. But you can. If you really need to. Well, no. Yeah, sure. You exhaust Rainbow Shine to play Makeover to play a thing for Luna, right? So yeah. So we're at 47. Ooh, we need to cut 2 cards. Tisk. We're gonna cut 1 Truffle. 1 Truffle. And 1 more card. Yeah, we definitely want 3 scopes. I think we're gonna cut. I think we're gonna cut one Pinky the Party Planner because Pinky the Party Planner is like a mini scope or a non-immediate food fight. It's nice to have the overlap. We don't need a full 3. No, I think this deck really needs a full 3 Aloysiuses because uh, since we're not running Paper Twilights, this is all of our Meticulous here. Well, and this, obviously. Um, so we want to be able to make sure our Moon Dancers can reliably hit 7 or 9. Um, 10 is probably excessive. I mean, scope already gets her to a 9 on its own. So yeah, I think we do want Aloysius at a full 3. Plus, like I said, Aloysius helps flip our main if we lose Ancient Research. That's very, very important. So yeah. So we've got, yeah. I don't think this is going to be winning Gen Con, as is. But I think it's still a pretty solid deck. I think you can do some interesting things with it. It probably needs some tweaking, but first drafts, you know, everything needs some fine tuning. Now we need some problems. Okay, so we're playing purple problem aggro cards. Ugh. Purple does not have good aggro problems. Spell Showdown, maybe? I don't think so. Trouble with Trixie. Now this is a good purple aggro problem. Gives you an AT. It's easy to confront. Bam. What else? Tiny Troubles. Yes. This is a great pink purple aggro problem. Okay. So, you do need 3 of each, but we can do that just fine. Most of our pink friends get us to 3. Rainbow Shine doesn't. But most of them can get us to 3 just fine. Now, if you win the problem face-off, ooh, no, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I would put a flag on this because Pinkie Pie can't always get you there, Lily can't always get you there, Rainbow Shine can never get you there. So I'd put a flag on this. But if it works, when you win a problem face-off, which aggro decks are trying to do, you win the problem face-off. You can dismiss a friend here. It doesn't have to be yours, and gain action tokens equal to its cost. So if the opponent has a friend there, you can dismiss their friend and gain AT. That's great. That's exactly what you want to do with an aggro deck. So I would try this out. Mean Meanie Pants is awful aggro problem. For a couple of reasons, especially for this deck. Oh wait, Mean Meanie Pants. Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking Figure Out Friendship. Mean Meanie Pants is just fine. It's 2 bonus, has good stats, it's fine. The one downside is your Moon Dancers are pointless there, but that's fine. You just put the Moon Dancer at the other problem. Let's see, what other... I think we want to be looking primarily at purple problems. Primarily ones that we can confront with Moon Dancer. Unfortunately, that's like, okay, Twilight's Worst Nightmare. Immediate banish an event from your hand to give a character here +2 power until the end of the turn. That is an aggro problem. If you have an event in your hand that you don't need, like say a makeover or the one, Magical Misfire, right? Banish them. You can give your thing 2 power. Your Trixies and your Moon Dancers can both confront this just fine. So yeah, this is just fine problem for this deck. It is high, but again, you have so many events, you should be able to hit 8 just easy, just fine. 8 card pile up. Actually, yes, I think that good call. 8 card pile up. We want none problem. 8 card pile up. 7. Oh, We're already at 10. Okay. In that case, I think we're just going to cut Tiny Troubles and add 8-card pile up here. 2 bonus. 7 is good number for Moon Dancer, right? 2 cards on top. She's 7. Bam. Trixie needs 3 events to confront this. Just fine. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mean Meanie Pants. Oof. You know what? I think we're not going to run Mean Meanie Pants. I think instead we're going to run Winter Startup. Again, 8 isn't great for Moon Dancer. You need to put 3 things on top. Now, Seeking the Scepter, I was thinking about as well, but I like Winter Startup more because 10 instead of 8 is very similar to mains can't confront there because most mains are 3 power. The big exception, of course, being Applejack, and Mod. And it's 2 bonus instead of 1. So I think I actually prefer just Winter Startup. Because now, admittedly, only 4 of our problems are 4, but oh well. All of our problems, except for Ancient Research, can be confronted by just Moon Dancer or Trixie, which is very nice. Our Pinkie Pies are going to usually be on the other problem, and they're usually not going to be 4 power. Sometimes they will be. Sometimes, but most of the time they're not going to be. Unfortunately, we can't do many amazing tricks with Lily, though. If you had a Moon Dancer at home that was just 2 power short of confronting, you could always Lily your Moon Dancer. You're not really going to want to do that, but it's fine. So yeah, so our only pink cards that we can't play off of Lily or Pinkie Pie guaranteed are Sips and Snails and Cutie Pox Outbreak. We're okay with that. We'll get when we need to play Sips and Snails, we'll have our 3 pink. Yeah, we're not short on events at all. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, which is about what I would expect for this deck. Oh. No, it's a last resort to have Lily eat Moon Dancer. Very last resort. Usually won't happen. Usually you're more likely going to eat a Figment token or an owl. Or Pinkie Pie. Or a Trixie who's at home and is only 2 power now. So yeah, I like this. I think this deck is fine. Okay. That took about 30 minutes, so sure, if anyone has a suggestion, and they can give it to me right now, well, I'll do one more. Other than that, I think if no one has a suggestion right now, I might just call it here. This is already, this has already been an hour 40 minutes. It's kind of long. So if anyone has a suggestion, how about pink blue? I bet I could make a pink blue aggro deck really quickly. Really quickly. So orange yellow, I'm almost positive I could not make an orange yellow aggro deck that looked good without that Applejack and Fluttershy. Like I could get started on one, but I think you need Applejack and Fluttershy for it to really work out. So I don't know that I'm really willing to do that, to be perfectly honest. Anyone else? Plus, we already went with your suggestion. Let's give someone else a chance. Right. I'm sure someone has something they'd like to see. Anyone? No? Okay, I think in that case, since it has been, already 100 minutes, blue yellow. Okay, okay. I could show you the blue-yellow deck that I've basically, or blue-yellow bubbly mare. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Um, but no, I could show you guys. Yeah, well, let's do blue-yellow really quickly. Okay. Um, though to be perfectly honest, it's going to be yellow-blue. It's not going to be friend animals actually. It is going to be nurturing nature. Now, I did explain already the problems with nurturing nature, but this is not going to be 100% top tier. That's fine. It doesn't need to be 100%. I really like nurturing nature, and I think I want to show people, a pretty reasonable nurturing nature deck. Now, I have a yellow blue nurturing nature deck already that I'm going to probably just build from close to memory. So here's one of the most important things about nurturing nature. You need to add double diamond to this deck. Now you might be saying, but double diamond is not blue and is not yellow. And you would be correct. He's not. He is orange. However, he's in the discard. Your Fluttershy is bigger, and that's very good. Very, very, very good for this deck. So now we need some ways to get double diamond in the discard. Tank! Coincidentally, also entry. The other big way, though we're only going to have 2 of this, is turning point. Now here's the thing. Even if the opponent has no troublemakers, you can play turning point and discard double diamond. And sometimes that's just worth it. Pay 1, discard 2 cards that were useless because your opponent has no troublemakers and you're never going to play double diamond in this deck. You can't play double diamond in this deck to just make your main 1 power bigger permanently until the opponent magical misfires you. So it's just fine. Speaking of troublemakers, we want to add the both the blue and the yellow dilemma, Industrial Revolution, and Tyrant's Reign of Terror. And on top of that, blue-yellow has a very, very, very good song. And I don't just mean because it is like a good song, but it's a good card too. We have Cloud Chaser and Flitter for movement efficiency. We have, what is the card? Bunyip for points. And you might be thinking, what about Nightglider? Well, Nightglider is A, 3 blue rec. That's not always going to be easy to hit. And B, wants you to win face-offs by 5 or more power. And if we're using Nurturing Nature, we're going to be confronting problems without actually having power at the problems. So not actually right here. So we're going to be running Bunyip instead. Let's see. What else? Oh, very important card. Band of Breezies. Now, Band of Breezies is a very, very underrated card. Probably one of the best 2/1/2 yellow cards in the game. Maybe the best 2/1/2 yellow card in the game. Because it never goes home. Almost never. It's unless the opponent moves them home with purple cards, not going home. And that's great. If they snips and snails the problem, goes to the other problem. If you lose a troublemaker face-off, instead of sending them home, you send them to the other problem to fight that troublemaker, and then send them right back, or whatever. Double face-off, go to the other problem. Like, it's just 2 power out of problem almost always. There are a few ways to get around it, but it's just very good. And you can flip your main off of, because we're going to be using Concerning Cutie Mark. Of course we're going to be using Concerning Cutie Mark. So you can use Concerning Cutie Mark and Band of Breezies to flip Fluttershy easy. Though we do need more blue entry. Let's add some Kevins. Okay, I lied. We can play double diamond. Just don't make your Kevin's orange just to play double diamond. That's not a good strategy. But sometimes you might need him to be yellow, so it's fine. And then we'll add a cheese sandwich because I like cheese sandwich, and he's an Earth Bunny, and that's sometimes relevant. We want Zephyr. Now, some of you are going to go, why do we want Zephyr? And the answer is, it's because he's big. He only costs 2, and he's 4, 5, or 6 power. And in an aggro deck, you just want huge amounts of power for cheap at a problem. And paying 2 for 4 power, even if only once, is still pretty good. Plus, he's got to help out his big sister, right? And what else? What else? 34 out of 45. Oh, tough love. Speaking of Zephyr, right? We need a way to interfere with our opponent. Tough love is a pretty good one. Another good one in blue is Sepactly attack. Now, you might think Rutherford, since Rutherford is a friend and all that cool, neat stuff. But the problem there is, again, 4 rec is difficult for this deck to reach. So we're not going to rely on having 4 blue rec. Just 2. Everything in this deck is going to be 2 blue. True Friend, 2. Terror, 2. Cloud Chaser and Flitter, 2. Sepactly attack, 2. See? It's all good. We need resource removal. What's that rule? Always have resource removal? Right. Okay. I think we're going to run... I think we're actually going to run Lemon Hearts here. Now, yeah, two Lemon Hearts. Why Lemon Hearts? Because it helps us flip our main, worst case scenario. And we don't really need the song. No, I would much rather dismiss it, and I would much rather have the it on our main color. Plus, isn't Trashed 3 blue rec? No, it's only 2. My bad. Okay. Now we need one last card. One last card. Oof. Don't at all. We've got some pretty good cards here. Maybe a blue friend. What blue friends would we want? Wildfire isn't bad, right? None of these. I want something nice and aggressive. Maybe a yellow friend. Brian, there we go. I want to add Brian! Why can't I add Brian to any of these decks? Smooth, no. Oh! Yeah, let's add some Philomenas. Let's add a full 3. So 1 costs 2 power, good rate. Plus it mucks with our opponent, won't let them have too much AT. So yeah, Philomena's just fine here, I think. So yeah, now a problem deck. What do we got for time? 10 minutes? Yeah, plenty of time. So we want some yellow problems. We want Save the Day. Why do we want Save the Day? Because confronting a problem and scoring a point is great. Amazing. Now, yes, all of our blue friends are in fact only 2. Wow, is Cloud Chaser and Cloud Chaser and Flitter is the only blue friend we have that requires entry, and that's fine. But here's the thing: True Friend can bump that up to 3 just fine, and you could just have both blue friends there. It's fine. Points are worth being slightly awkward. And the rest of our problems we want to be yellow, mono yellow problems, because we want Fluttershy to be able to confront them. Equal or else is very good because Fluttershy with 1 double diamond confronts it. Anxious animals is very good, gives us extra power. It's 2 bonus. How many does that put us at? 7. Mob mentality. It's not hard for us to have a lot of friends here, and again, 2 bonus. I don't think we want any of the rest of these, so we go to the none section and we do 1 cult of personality. Why cult of personality? Well, because if you have 0 characters there, you just have Fluttershy with 1 double diamond. You can confront it by yourself, and there's no penalty, and it's amazing. Meanwhile, it's usually going to be a 7 or more for the opponent, so it's not bad. And yeah, that's my Fluttershy blue deck. I think this is a little bit different than the one that I actually have built, but it's pretty close. And I have a lot of fun with it. I love playing this deck. I found it to be very rewarding. Anyway, I think at this point, though, that is going to be it. Thank you for joining me for these past 2 hours. I didn't quite mean for it to be quite that long. Usually I like having these about 90 minutes, but I got to do 3 decks, and I got to talk for a bit about aggro. Hopefully you all like this. And depending on how I feel, I might do this again like 1 more time. Oh, sure. What do you got, Lessons? No, while you're typing that out, what I was saying is I might do this 1 more time before Sequestria, but I'm not going to promise that I am. I'm definitely going to do it after Sequestria, because it's fun. I like building decks. Plus, new cards. Is this card good for your deck? Does someone want to tell me what card that is, rather than me clicking on an Imgur link? Just because I don't want to be clicking on Imgur links while on stream in case it's something awkward. Just want to be safe. Apologies, Lessons. Is it a fake card? Is this a fake card? Am I being trolled? Am I dodging the troll accidentally? It's real. Is it a real pony card? Or is it a Magic card? Or a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is Rob. How did I forget? Oh. No way! What? Okay, this is worth clicking on. Okay. Surprise! Spoiler time! Okay. Okay. Jeez. Well, okay. Let's go over. I don't have Twitch chat anymore. That's fine. That's fine. Twitch can be over there on the side. Whatever. So what does this card even do? Oh my god. Okay. So this is a song. This is a 3-color song from the movie Time to Be Awesome. Not my personal favorite. I know a lot of people who do like it. Blue, pink, yellow. 6 flip, 2 cost. Choose one as a song, of course. We need 3 things. And these modes are all insane. Well, 2 of them are insane. One of them is just very good. Not mode. Verse. This is something that King Utopia started saying somewhere. I don't remember where. Started calling the different modes of songs verses. I think that is absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to perpetuate this as much as I can. So verse 1 of It's Time to Be Awesome. Challenge an opposing troublemaker with all of your characters in play. Doesn't matter where they are. They can be at problems. They can be at home. Doesn't matter. Every single one. So even if the opponent is playing purple and is trying to, push your stuff home, doesn't matter. They're still in the face-off. Every single character. That is impressive. You're going to win that face-off. You're probably going to win that face-off, right? Verse 2. Dismiss an opposing friend. Period. Well, comma. But still. 2 AT to dismiss any friend in the game. Almost. There's like 2 or 3 that you can't. And sure, Brian gets in the way and stuff like that. But still. Unconditional removal for 2 AT is pretty freaking good. Verse 3. Your characters get +2 power until the end of the turn. All of them! Everywhere! This is like this is like True Friend, except instead of moving characters, you dismiss a friend and you just need pink. And instead of 1 power, it's 2. And instead of your characters had a problem, it's all of them! Okay, that was pretty fun. This is pretty good. It is a super rare though. That's interesting. Okay, let's go back to Twitch chat here. Oh. What did you guys all say? Triple color, yes. Yes. Versus, yes. Okay. Song Spike is not that colors. No. Yeah, that is a bit of a bummer, because that would be insane. You challenge a troublemaker with all your characters, and they all have +2 power. You're winning. That was an opposing troublemaker, right? Let's double check that. An opposing troublemaker. Okay, no blue, orange, the blue, pink, yellow farm here. Critical, they spoiled the card. The whole card. Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you very much, Rob. I forgot what your name was since you hadn't been in streams for so long. We've been checking for you every single time. Oh, you do realize now that this is the 3rd super rare I've gotten to spoil. The 3rd one. Like, give someone else some super rares. I did not come here for this. Oh, okay. In that case, now that we've had a spoiler time. Okay, that's true, I guess. But now that we've had surprise spoiler time, and if you could actually tweet that just so that we have an image that we can share with other people so they don't have to watch the video. But yes, with that over, and I guess still a minute to spare. That's going to be it for the day. Thank you very much for joining. And then surprise spoilers, I guess. Silly. But yeah, I'll try and do this again soon. Maybe it'll mean more spoilers? Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching.